All right, let's talk about something big that's happening right now, deep inside some of the world's biggest newsrooms. We're seeing this massive shift in how the news you read gets made, and, you guessed it, it's all being powered by artificial intelligence.
So let me ask you something. The next time you click on a news story, are you 100% sure who or maybe even what is behind the words you're reading? Because that answer is getting way more complicated than you probably think. And here it is, the headline that's kicking this whole thing off. Business Insider, a huge name in news, has actually created a new byline, the author's name on an article, that isn't a person, it's an AI. And they're using it to publish stories that are, at least at first, written by an algorithm.
So, what's their side of the story? Well, Business Insider actually made a whole author page for its new AI, and here's the key line. They say it's all about using generative AI tools, think stuff like ChatGPT, to get you more information more quickly. The whole idea here is pretty simple. It's all about speed and scale. Now, you might be picturing robots completely taking over the newsroom, right? Well, not exactly. There's a really specific process here that makes sure humans are still very much in the loop. So, how does it really work? Let's break it down. It's actually a pretty straightforward two-step system. First up, the AI does the initial grunt work. It spits out the first draft of an article. But, and this is super important, that draft doesn't just go live on the site. Nope. It goes to actual human journalists for step 2, the edit. And you really can't overstate how vital this human step is. According to Business Insider, their human editors are the final gatekeepers. They're on the hook for what I'd call the big 3 of good journalism: the overall quality, the factual accuracy, and the fairness of the story. So the final say, that critical journalistic judgment, still comes from a person. So you're probably asking yourself, is this just some weird one-off experiment? The truth is, it's not. This whole shift is part of a much bigger strategy, and the decision is coming right from the very top. Yeah, to really get the scale of this, you've got to look up the corporate ladder. Business Insider isn't just a standalone company. It's owned by Axel Springer, this huge German media conglomerate that also owns massive publications like Politico. And let me tell you, the bosses there have a very clear vision for AI. The CEO of Axel Springer, Matthias Döpfner, he hasn't been shy about this at all. He's been urging his staff to go all in on AI. In fact, he ordered every single employee to figure out a way to use it in their job. And at Business Insider, editors were explicitly told, yeah, go ahead, use stuff like ChatGPT for first drafts. The main takeaway here is that this isn't a suggestion. It's a company-wide directive. But here's the thing. It's not just Axel Springer. Not by a long shot. When we zoom out and look at the whole media world, it's clear this is becoming a full-blown industry trend. All the major players are starting to bring AI into their newsrooms. And what's really interesting is we're already seeing a few different playbooks emerge. You've got Business Insider using AI for full first drafts. Fortune magazine is doing something pretty similar with their byline Fortune Intelligence. But then you've got a company like Bloomberg taking a totally different path, using AI to just create those 3 little bullet point summaries you see at the top of their articles. And if you look at Bloomberg's reasoning, you see another big piece of the puzzle. It's all about making things easier for the reader. They're basically saying these AI summaries are for busy people, helping you save time by quickly getting the gist of a story. It's all about efficiency. Okay, so we've looked at how this works and who's doing it. But let's get to the real question. What in the world does all of this mean for us, for you, the people who actually read the news every single day? Look, what this all boils down to is that a line that has been crystal clear for literally centuries, the line between news written by a person and news made by a machine, well, that line is officially getting blurry. It's starting to fade right before our eyes. And that leaves all of us with a really big, profound question to think about. As this tech gets woven deeper and deeper into our daily lives, when the name on the byline is an algorithm, who or what do you really trust? That's something we're all going to have to figure out. Thanks for tuning in.